Right and wrong is a perception of the individual. Therefore, there is no right and wrong. Miri Shabaka, Ursa Ma'atra, and knowledge is infinite. Therefore, evolution is inevitable. Peace.
Knowledge itself is important. I get the feeling, you know it. Catch me on front lines, no hold back. All these religions be so whack. Divide and conquer, we felt that. Racism biggest, we clap back. Big mama taught me to bow my head, but I see beauty in me instead. If your mouth closed, then you don't get fed. Had to read books, not be special ed. Jesus was known for bravery, but he seemed pretty sleepy during time of slavery. I know that it all was a lie. Why did so many have to die? Watch my paradigm shift. I say, 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 I say.
Welcome to Paradigm Shift TV 314. This is your brother, Pianki Patama Tulu Nefer Amon Ra. And we back with another powerful show. We got our brother, Seba, Khemra Nsu Sekhemmaat. And before we get into what we're about to throw down, let me do my usual spiel. Let me say hotep to my fellow Kemetic brothers and sisters. Let me say God bless to my Christian brothers and sisters. Let me say Islam to my Moorish brothers and sisters. Let me say Assalamu alaikum to my brothers and sisters in the NOI. And let me say Jambo to the rest of my brothers and sisters throughout the African diaspora, be it here in the wilderness of the United States of America or beyond. I say that welcome for one reason and one reason only. It's because if you're Black, I'm with you, and I hope that you are with me. Our disagreement shouldn't keep us from uniting. We can disagree without being disrespectfully disagreeable. And with that, Seba Khemra, speak your speech, my brother.
I appreciate it, Chief Seba. Hotep, peace to the family, peace and Black power. I just want to welcome you guys. Tonight, we're going to speak on a very, very powerful subject. I have a wonderful, wonderful panel tonight. People who are in the musical industry, people who have expertise, people who are very, very skilled. And it is definitely an honor to be in the building with these kings and queens. It is an honor to be in their presence. And I just want to go around, as always, ladies first. Miss Law, introduce yourself to the people. Let them know where you're from. Let them know some of your experience.
It was good, y'all. This is Miss Law, St. Louis, Missouri, where I'm from. Currently down in ATL. You know, I've been doing music for quite some time. You know, it's something that that releases things that I'm going through. I communicate through my music. You know, you can find me on IG, The Real Miss Law. You can check me out on YouTube. You can just Google me, Miss Law. You know, I'm just here to give the ladies perspective on some things.
Beautiful. Ashe, Queen. And then next we have the wonderful SK Crucial in the building. SK, let them know. Tell them about yourself.
Yeah, man. SK stand for something crucial. You know what I'm saying? I've been rapping, I don't know how long. I've been dealing with everything music. Music is my life. I love music. I don't think I would be able to make it. I wouldn't be here without music. And I got a passion for it. I've been battle rapping for over 12 years. I love it. It's something that, like Ms. Law said, it helps me express, you know what I'm saying? And I'm always on point. You feel me? You know what I'm
I
saying?
say.
And I've been writing music for a very long time. Before I was battle rapping, I was writing music, and I love it. I'm one of them people. I love the process, and you know what I mean. Y'all gonna get a good whiff of that.
I say.
I am slick. Feel me?
And last but not least, Sham. Go ahead and tell the people who you are, where you come from. Tell them your experience. All right, that's it.
All right. Well, I'm Sham of the production, formerly of the production company, the Track Stars. I've been doing music my whole life. I started off in a rap group when I was a teenager. Anybody in St. Louis, remember PD Wax Records, Out of Order. We had a song with Twister. A lot of people don't even know that. They don't even realize I was actually in that rap group. But from the rap group Out of Order, we went to do the whole nine, which was Chaos and Chemo, the Nina Pop, and all of that stuff, saying, and then it, translated into the Chingy era with DTP and, from there on. So I'm a music producer, first a music artist, but also did additional, production, growing up, and I just crossed all the way over to production. And, it's too much to talk about, but that's, pretty much it right there, just to kind of, sum it up, Yep.
I say.
Okay.
What I want to do is that tonight, guys, we're going to talk about something that's very, very dear to our hearts, the musical industry and how it affects the Black community, or the community of people of the darker hue. The first thing I want to play, because there was a video of some brothers that we had before, and there was a couple of key points that I kind of wanted to run across the panel. And I want to play this clip because I don't want people to, think I'm getting their words misconstrued, and I want to stay in context with what's going on. So I want to go ahead and play this clip real quick of this is a brother, a dear brother of ours. And I want to play this clip, and I want you guys to listen to it if you can. And then we'll go back over it and I'll ask you guys the same question.
And I looked at not just rap music. We all know rap music comes from the church. I don't know if people may know this, but believe it or not, the first rap songs ever came from the church, and that was rapping about Noah and the ark and all this stuff. It transitioned into what we know as rap music today, which came from New York. And like Brother Marlon said, I stay in Dallas, Texas. I stay in the South. There were no gangs. There were people who claimed Bloods and Crips and all that, but it wasn't nothing like it is now. You could go anywhere you want to go. You could wear any color you want to wear. You could have on whatever you want.
So the clip, the particular part that I wanted to focus on today is that what is the origin of hip hop? That's before we get into how it affects Black people, we need to understand where it came from. So my brother, he says that the first hip hop records were in the church, that the church is responsible, that the church is responsible for hip hop. So let's go ahead and go backwards first. Sham, what is the origin of hip hop?
That's kind of, for me, it's when I get into these conversations about hip hop, I look at things from a different perspective. Now, for example, he said the church. You have video. I seen a video on YouTube, probably about, I want to say, a week or so ago, where it was these guys like in the 50s and 60s actually rapping. It wasn't called hip hop, but when you actually listen to what they were, how they were projecting their wordplay and, performing the record, it was actually what would be called hip hop. So when you debate where hip hop came from, of course we're gonna say New York. Everybody say the Mecca is New York, but like I said, I go farther back from that, and that video is proof of it. This guy's in the 50s and the 60s singing. He's literally like rapping, putting words together. So we really don't know, you know what I'm saying? Because you could easily say that hip hop started with that particular artist that was rapping, in the 60s, in the 50s. So it's kind of sensitive what we, with me with that, because we know, but we really don't know. We know that the energy of it came from New York. That's just facts. But like I said, prior to that, you had guys, it wasn't called rap, but they were rapping in the 50s and 60s. So that's just, it's kind of hard for me with that, you know what I'm saying? But it coming from the church, I don't know about that. You got to prove that. Like, where's the source of proof?
Anybody want to chime in, Law?
Where's the proof?
I mean,
I
honestly I was just watching something. It actually was a whole program about how hip hop started on CNN of all places that I was watching. And they was talking about how, you know, when music was starting to evolve, and of course it was in New York, when it was starting to evolve, it was mainly funk music first. And then all of a sudden, someone took one of these particular songs. I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it was the Sugar Hill Gang. They had a guy who decided to start saying words to this particular track. And it started off with that hip hop, hip it, rock to the bang, bang, boogity, whatever. No one knew at that time it was called hip hop until people started trying to go to the store to buy that particular song that was performed. And they kept on saying, can I get that one song, hip hop, hip it to the hip hop? And that's how they even started calling it hip hop, because he kept saying that. And that was like the first hip hop record that was, you know, that came about from how he put words, rhyming words to an actual funk track. And that how, you know, hip hop was born. That's from my understanding how it went down.
So CNN, they didn't say that it was in Mount Bethel Episcopal Lutheran.
No, they say nothing about it being born in a church. They say an actual group decided to put rhyming words to like a funk track, and the words started off hip hop, hip it, hip hop, and some people were asking for, they didn't know the name of the song. They kept on saying, I want to get that song, that hip hop, hip it to the hip hop. And that's how that even involved. You know, it's funny that you brought that up because I just watched that like a week ago. Weird.
That's crazy. SK Crucial.
Let's just get this clear. Hip hop did not start in the fucking church. I just want to put that out there. I mean, that I don't even know how that could even be somewhere where somebody would think that's where the origin of hip hop came from. I mean, I was real young, like my grandmother played something, and it was a Dolomite tape. And to me, if you ask me, I think Dolomite was the first rapper.
Okay.
I mean, he was, without actually putting a name on it, I think he was the first hip hop artist. And so yeah, I'm with Sham, where trying to see where it derived from, like the origin of it. That's a tough one, because I'm sure it was cats that was doing the blues and 1945 that could rap. And they didn't, they didn't have a title for it. You know what I'm saying? And just like I tell everybody all the time, y'all tripping off Grubhub and DoorDash and all that. That's the same. That is probably the same mechanics that the milkman used to use.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The same kind of thought process went behind that. And what I mean, it's just like, it's hard to say where the origin came from. Like, I mean, because even with Curtis Blow and Sugar Hill Gang and all this, they could have took it from somebody else. You know what I mean? It came off too hippity hoppity hippity hippity hoppity. You ain't get that from nobody. You know what I mean? You ain't hear that? Because even Dolomite gave his credit for the way he spoke on records. He gave his credit. He got that from OGs. You know what I'm saying? Watching them maneuver. So to me, it's like, were you the first one to do it? We don't know. We just know that the light got shined on it at that time. That was the first person that the light got shined on it for. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm with Sham. I couldn't say where it came from, but I can say this: it ain't come from no fucking church.
Right. Facts.
And when I think of hip hop, too, you got the core elements of hip hop with the graffiti, You know what I'm saying? The MCing, the DJing, you know what I'm saying? The lyrical spitting and different things like that. You even have beatboxing. But there's another one that they don't really speak about, and that's another element of hip hop is consciousness. And when I hear people say things like hip hop comes from the church, I don't think that that really qualifies anyone to have a type of consciousness, because you're bound to a book. So you lose your consciousness because you take on the consciousness of the vampire, which is sucking life from you, which is the book. And so what we have to understand is that when people take things, or when they try to give credit, especially not based in facts, you understand what I'm saying? Because I mean, to say such an outlandish statement as all these people were rapping about Noah, what exactly were they saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, and where's the proof? Where is the evidence of any of this? You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's just like really just talking out the side of your neck for things. And it's quite disturbing, you know what I'm saying? Because hip hop means a lot, especially the roots of it. It was about facing economic depression, you know what I'm saying? Like you guys had spoke, you said that music is an outlet, it's a release. You guys are MCs, you guys are real lyricists. So it's really an outlet to you, and it's spiritual because you have a conscious thought. Your conscious thought is saying, this is my expression. This is what I want to say. And you have no problem saying what you say, and you guys word everything absolutely wonderful. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that's on this panel, including you, Sham, you know what I'm saying, with the spitting and everything, including you. So the next thing I really want to get into, because I really wanted to shut that down. And
Seba,
yeah, I'm sorry, Ken, go ahead.
Before you go on, I'm gonna add my 2 cents, and this will
Please,
probably
Seba,
be
please.
my last little contribution, because I'm gonna let you rock. But I think, like, when it comes to hip hop, and this is just from a fan perspective, like I said, I'm an old man at 44. So, going back to, like, you hear cats like, I'm sure all of y'all familiar with my man, one of my favorite artists of all time, Gil Scott-Heron.
Absolutely.
Like, that was hip hop. Even though he didn't, in his lifetime anyway, he didn't want to be necessarily connected to it because of the negative connotations that had been levied against hip hop. But he was doing hip hop with his poetry to the African drum. So from my perspective, when you listen to how he did his poetry to the African drum, when you listen to like Lost Poets and all of these different artists, to me, considering hip hop was birthed from people of African descent, and you look at how a brother like him and brothers before him who influenced him, I would submit that if we're gonna look for an origin for hip hop, we got to look to the motherland, and I would submit that the origin of hip hop is Africa.
I say, because African Bambaataa and all the rest of them, those guys too, you know what I'm saying, they came over, and it was a different type of swag and flavor to what was going on within the African American community. So I mean, this is not something that is hard to find. We don't have to go and search through a bunch of books and look through certain sources to find. I mean, the information is right there. You know what I'm saying? And it's another guy, I believe his name is Phil Jackson. He's a preacher. Look him on up. He's a preacher in the church, and he's basically a youth minister that wanted to incorporate the Christian hip hop. And that's crazy too. You ever think about it? If the church created it, then why do they have to come back and get it now? If it was something that the church created, why all of a sudden now we have Christian hip hop or Christian rap? You see what I'm saying? Christian rap, Christian hip hop. I don't really understand. If something is yours and you are the originator of it, then why now are you saying you're calling that music worldly? So all of a sudden the music from the church house became worldly, or it became, come on now. I mean, we're not talking to people who are unintelligent here. You understand what I'm saying? You do the math. I don't need to go and explain this, you understand? But I just want to make sure I look in the camera and say I'm staying on context. Okay, so what we're gonna do is that let's move on to something a little bit more pressing that's kind of more dear to the heart. Let's look at how hip hop is affecting Black people. The first thing that I want to talk about is the kings they addressed, or the brothers they addressed, Megan Thee Stallion, and they addressed Cardi B. Oftentimes as men, we talk about things that we don't have an opinion earned for. And I think that a lot of times, especially coming from a religious impetus, a man has a particular way of thinking about a woman, how she should act, how she should dress, how she should do whatever she does in her life. And they don't really consider her as something that is spiritual, that is thinking, living, breathing. A lot of times they treat her as if, hey, you do what I say and you sit down and you shut up and different things like that. And I'm not saying that these brothers are like that, because I won't put them out there like that, because I don't know their personal life. I have no clue. However, the rhetoric that I was hearing, what they were saying, was completely disrespectful to these queens who are a symbol of Black wealth. And so I wanted to bring a female that is on the show, Miss Law. I wanted to bring her to kind of give a female standpoint about how a woman is taking Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. So let's see if Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B is changing this Black queen. Black queen, please, if you will.
Well, my take. When I hear comments coming from men on their perspective of women being, I guess, what they consider vulgar, or being able to say things what they feel, or demeaning, or not ladylike, or whatnot. It to me, it's just like a double standard, because men can do it. It's bad enough we are already a small percentage of hip hop. Men are way more off the chain than women are. So when a female can come like that, they get looked at as it being a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Which is not fair. Completely not fair. Just like these guys out here eating on it and being able to capitalize on it. Okay, it's more them than it is us. You know what I'm saying? Why not tear them down? Because if it's okay for them, why it's not okay for us, first of all. Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B, I salute them, because they have more positives than these negative songs that is being pinpointed. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at, sometimes how they came up, and for them to be able to step into a situation, you know what I'm saying, where they're showing that not only can they make the music that they want, you know what I'm saying, and it may not always be what most people think is the right music, but people have choice. You know what I'm saying? Women can do that. You know what I'm saying? It's feeding them, it's giving them the wealth where they can pass down to their kids. Their kids don't have to take that path. They're giving their kids choice. You know what I'm saying? I feel, men don't have the right, or they really need to step back from trying to, place their opinion on how they feel a woman should portray themselves in their own music. You know what I'm saying? Women, we have the right to do the same thing y'all can do. And I don't see anything wrong with it. I really don't.
There's a message that Cardi B, so before I even ask this question, Law, because I want to make it fair. So I want to let everybody know who is watching right now that there is a difference between party music and having fun. Okay, because we want to put that out there. There is music. On my face, there is music that is meant to be in the club for people to have fun as adults.
Yeah,
adult absolutely. Fun music. Period. Absolutely. Adult fun music. So we don't have the right to say, oh, a woman can't make an adult fun song.
Yeah.
Think about this. Just walk with me with this. An adult music for an adult. It has nothing to do with it has nothing to do per se with the message. Is it? And I want to get an answer from the men. Like, does it offend you that Cardi B is talking about a wet ass pussy? Miss Law, does it offend you that Cardi B is talking about a wet ass pussy? Let's go back in a song that is meant for adults to party in the clubs or any other social gathering. I'm listening.
Absolutely not. It do not bother me whatsoever. I mean, it at the end of the day, it's for adults. It's for adults. You know what I'm saying? So I see nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? And in hip hop, that's just another avenue. It's done all day, every day. So don't pick and choose who you get you know what I'm saying, to have a problem with. You know what I'm saying? It's done all day long by guys. So when a couple of women can put their grown folk songs out there, why is it a problem to men? I don't get it. They feel like we shouldn't do that. I do it all day long. My music, and if I feel like talking about that type of thing, I'm gonna talk about that type of thing, because who's gonna listen to it? Adults. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with it. Cardi B, Megan, I mean, I'm glad they're getting the attention. You know, they're getting attention. They show they strong women who can do the same thing you can do, and you shouldn't have a problem with it at the end of the day.
I'm listening, Kings. Y'all can chime in anytime, please.
I think my thing is, like, I agree with this law 100%, where, you know, because we have so many issues in the Black community, like, we want to blame everything on everything. You know, Katy Perry can make a record, I Kissed the Girl and I Like It, and she's praised for that record. Nobody makes any videos, nobody says anything. But when we make records, whether if it's men or female, like, everything is under attack, and it's always taken out of the context of music. You know what I'm saying? I personally don't get involved in the music in that aspect, as far as what Cardi B does or what Megan does. Maybe because I'm a producer, I look at it from a different aspect. When I hear music, I just appreciate the music. I don't necessarily get into your lyrics or what you're saying, or you know, saying how you live in your life, because that may be their perspective of reality, Cardi B and Megan. You know what I'm saying? Just like it's no different than NBA Youngboy or any gangster rapper or a conscious rapper. A conscious rapper, like, you look at the Wu-Tang Clan. You know, the Wu-Tang Clan was raised by the 5%er, Papa Wu. You know what I'm saying? So they had a little bit more God and consciousness. You got NWA that didn't have that guidance growing up. So to me, it's just all perspective. If a person is a freak, that's their perspective. If a person is a gangster rapper, that's their perspective from their reality. So for me, it's just music. I don't get that deep into it. You know, I got daughters, you know what I'm saying? And they know I'm a producer, and they're very well aware of what's going on from me teaching them. So I don't monitor what they listen to, you know what I'm saying? Because they already build with them spiritually or guide them in that manner. So I don't infiltrate their mind like that. They know better and they understand it's music. So I mean, people may disagree with me on that, but I don't get into that. If it's music, it's music. Because if you're gonna start scrutinizing Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, start attacking Katy Perry and everybody that does the same thing. Don't just make it's always Black music or when a Black woman does it. But let it have been Iggy Azalea or somebody that did it. Nobody said anything. So that's just my opinion. It's music. It's just your perspective and your reality. And you just basically telling the story from your perspective.
And it's also to another thing, like, and before you go, SK, real quick, I wanna piggyback off what Shan was saying. I didn't hear them on the video, and maybe I'll go back and listen to it again, but I didn't hear them talking about the white screamo artists that have what they say. They always say that demonic sound. You know, I don't subscribe to fairy tales and sprites. So, but that whole, if I were to subscribe to that, they saying something demonic. You guys know I'm talking about the screamo artists. And these are gospel songs. These are they say that these are gospel songs. Jesus. That's what they, but nobody say anything about them. I didn't hear not one time anything about any of that. They're talking about these queens, these goddesses that have a strong, listen to what I'm saying, a strong presence. They're strong. So because these females are strong, it makes them feel weak to where they have to even talk and have a conversation about it. The world needs WAP. I was created because of WAP. You were created. Everybody here slid through a WAP. So at the end of the day, when it's their particular expression, their form, why do they have to be criticized? Why, like King said, Katy Perry wasn't criticized. It's a whole Miley Cyrus, J's on my feet, J's on my feet. You understand what I'm saying? Like all that. Nobody was saying, well, wait a minute, you Hannah Montana. Nobody said anything like that. They let her slide. infiltrate in. She made her money. She did her thing. Taylor Swift, the same way. They're able to cross genres and say whatever they want to. They're able to do whatever they want.
If I may, Seba, now,
Yeah.
you know, now I'm not in the music industry, but you know I write poetry under my pen name, DMG the Poet. And I got poems from that can be considered gospel or religious poems, all the way to poems about love and sex that are way raunchier than anything in WAP. And I'm just keeping it a buck. I got a poem called Sexual Fun. I was just looking at it on my phone. I was like, if the brothers heard that, they may never talk to me again. So, you know, like just keeping it a buck. And so, I don't know if you remember this, because it was a while ago, I made a post on Facebook and I was just poking fun at people. I said, sex is my religion and the Black woman's vagina is my God.
That's true.
So now, having said that, I can literally break down why that makes sense. Because I came out of a Black woman's vagina. I came out of her womb. The primordial waters of her womb, I emerged from that.
That's right.
And all my life, since I emerged from her womb, I've been trying to get back in. That's and don't nothing make me feel better than when I do. You understand? So I don't see nothing wrong with WAP at all. Now, do I want my daughters to listen to it while they're a particular age, or my son for that matter? No. And I don't.
It's for adults. It's not for them.
There you go, Queen. And I don't believe it's made for them to listen to at a particular age. And so we have to be able to disseminate because see, my mother made the mistake of getting me an album called, again, I'm sure I'd say I'm 44. I'll be 45 in October. My mother bought me Life is Too Short when I was like 12. You understand? I don't think I should have been listening to it, but she had no idea what I was listening to. I had the DOC and you know, Nobody Can Do It Better in 6th grade. I was heavy on Pac in the 7th grade. So my mother she wasn't really up on, you know, the lyrics that I was listening to at the time. But as you become an adult, you get a little more cognizant of what your kids listening to. You pay a little bit more attention. And I think that's really what it's about, being a parent and understanding that you don't when 50 Shades of Grey came out, for people who into that movie, you ain't take your kids to see it. You went to see that with your lady, or your man. But that ain't something you're gonna sit down with your kids and watch. I don't care if your kid's 21 and older. I ain't really trying to sit next to my daughter or my son and watch 50 Shades of Grey, or Twi. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be able to use reasonable thinking to see what's appropriate for you to disseminate to your children and what's not, in my opinion. But as it pertains to things of a sexual nature, there's a certain uncomfortableness that comes over Black people that I don't understand, because that ain't us. That's not how we was when we talk about us in our original context. That's not where we come from. That's a European connotation.
Sure.
But they uncomfortable with sex. They want to put chastity belts on their women and all this kind of stuff. They obsessed with virginity, which ain't really a thing, but that's a whole different show. But that's something they obsessed with. And so, you know, we trip off, we get raised because of this European paradigm that we have superimposed on us. How many men she slept with. Let me explain something to y'all brothers. Listen, I don't care if she slept with 100 men. If you're taking care of your business, she yours. Period. So we got to get out of this mind state where we feel like we have to under or desexualize the woman, because it's odd to me that when it comes to things of a sexual nature, be it music, behavior, etc., we want to desexualize the woman, but when it comes to the bedroom, we want her to be uber sexual. And then we want to use her lack of sexuality, because now we giving her this mentality that sex is a bad thing. Now we want to use that as justification to go get another woman who will do them things that she wasn't willing to do when we've been shaming her for being sexual her whole life. And the woman who embraces her sexuality, we ostracize her. So we got to get out of this habit. Like I said, my favorite artist of all time, my two favorite artists, Marvin Gaye, #1, Tupac, #2. Marvin Gaye said, let's get it on. Sexual healing. Sex is healing. Tupac talked about, let's get it on. I get around. What's your phone number? Toss it up. And nobody said a word. We bobbing our heads to it. But these sisters come on talking about wow, which I don't know what man can live without, what heterosexual man can live without wow.
I can't live without it.
And now we want to ostracize and criticize them.
And as Miss Law said, she's a queen who's living that life and living that truth. She's saying, of course, it's not appropriate for kids. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's several things. We were talking earlier about the electric slide. You know, everybody goes to family functions and do the electric slide, and it's a whole bunch of kids, little babies, you know what I'm saying, doing the electric slide. But that song is talking about a vibrator. That song is talking about a vibrator. That song, you know what I'm saying? That song, you can't see it, it's electric. You gotta feel it, it's electric. Look at the lyrics. Look it up on Google. Boogie woogie. You understand? But that's appropriate though. That's appropriate. Our kids is dancing to it. Come on now, y'all know that y'all see them with the line dances. You know black people love they line dances. But they don't say nothing about that. That's not gonna be spoken about, you know, because that's family fun. But the impetus of it, he's talking about a vibrator. That's sexual.
Hey, I grew up in grandma's house, Clarence Carter. I'd be stroking.
Man, long, short stroke.
You hear me? So I'm just saying, man. But
I want to know what she
did. You can move on to the next.
I mean, I can say this about WAP, like to piggyback off what Sham said, like I listen to music for different stuff. Like I'm trying to listen to the bars and, you know, the cadence of they rapping, you know what I mean? I'm trying to see how it flow. You know, I don't really listen and to judge. I mean, because there's been a million fucking songs. They was talking about WAP already. They just didn't give it that name. I mean, shit, did we forget about Adina Howard? Have we forgotten about Little Kim and all the other fucking
freaks? Foxy Brown, all that. I mean,
come on, man. I mean, are we really about to do that? Are we really about to do that about some wet ass pussy?
Speak your speech.
I love pussy. I mean,
speak your speech.
I love pussy. Thank you. Can we get a part 2? And it better not be no niggas on there. I mean, I want to say ass pussy all over the motherfucker. Straight up, wet ass pussy all day long. Yeah, you understand that? And I think it got a lot. I think a lot of controversy come from just trolling, man. I mean, that shit don't be serious. It couldn't be serious to have us talking about this shit. And I mean, each of us could name 30 songs right now that was nasty as a motherfucker. Madonna whole motherfucking album was fucked up. Stop playing with me.
I don't see nobody try to hang Luke and the 2 Live Crew.
Come on,
yeah, 2 Live.
R. Kelly? Are we about to talk about R. Kelly's ass?
Sex
really?
Me.
Stop fucking with me.
I mean, about 95% of R. Kelly catalog is about sex.
98.
This brother opened the album.
I'm gonna say 98. I'm with you, SK. I'm with you, 98.
98.
This brother opened the album and said, "I feel so freaky tonight."
Wait a minute. Tank,
well played.
Wait a minute. Tank like it in the ass, and he fuck. I mean,
Prince is another one. Soft and wet with Prince.
Come on, man.
I mean, we can go on and on and on.
Even Janet Jackson said anytime.
Michael Jackson was talking about a hole in Dirty Diana, man. Can we stop?
Not Dirty Diana.
The fuck? What the fuck was Ray Charles talking about every motherfucking song?
You know the nighttime is the right time.
Man, what?
He just go there.
No,
We ain't
I
about to
agree.
do that about no wet ass pussy. We
I
not
agree.
about to do that.
Nah,
And I
we
think,
can't do
and
that.
I think with all of us as being industry professionals too, you know what I'm saying? Like how we're listening to the record. When I first heard WAP, I'm like, ooh. You know, I didn't care about any, like I'm listening to how it flowed, you know, but
Cardi
that's
was
because
killing that shit. I love
absolutely.
her bars. I love her bars in that song.
Her bars, her delivery was, yeah, it was great. And so
it was two
with
dope
that,
styles. It was
yeah,
two dope styles.
absolutely. And it's and when I look at that, I'm listening to that more of a musical connoisseur, you know what I'm saying? As a person that does music who makes hit records. You understand what I'm saying? Like this is something that we do. And so when I first heard, I'm like, ooh, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm listening to the beat. I'm like, it's smacking. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's all I care about. It's smacking. Is that
slamming?
That's what and it's a hit record. It comes together nice. There was nothing that was off. The keys were good. You know, I don't know. I just really didn't trip off of it. It's not content that I would want my little 8-year-old daughter to listen to. Absolutely not. But it's not made for her. One more time, we're going to put this out here. It's not made for kids.
Mm-hmm.
It's not made for kids. So we don't even want to hear a discussion about kids or anything like that. Is it appropriate for children? Because it's not made for kids, period. And us as parents, we all are parents on here. You understand what I'm saying? So we're not going to have our kids listen to that type of music, period.
I mean, come on now. I mean, we're all in agreement that that's why they call them kids, right? And that's why they call us adults, because some things are for adults and some things are for kids.
Sure.
I mean, they can't even get on certain rides at Six Flags. Am I right?
That's true.
I mean, I'm just saying that's a family friend place.
That's sure.
I mean, so let's just keep it real. We ain't about to do that about no wet ass pussy. The internet fucks everything up.
Yeah.
It has single-handedly made that a topic for today.
Mm-hmm.
And why on the other hand, men of all people, if we gonna let somebody critique it, let the women critique that song.
Facts.
It's about some wet ass pussy.
I agree.
You niggas love some wet ass pussy. Let the women critique it. If they don't like it, let them go on let the fucking Beyonce Beehive, you know, do a motherfucking critique on that song. Not men. You can't say shit about that.
Agreed.
They talking about wet ass pussy.
I'm not in. I think I would say, even in a situation of discussing it, I would just say I'm biased. You know, I don't think I need to be in this discussion. I'm biased, you know what I'm saying, just hearing the term.
I mean, this is the thing. If it was a trash ass song, I'd be like, this shit is trash. Period.
Mm-hmm.
It's trash.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't matter if they was talking about some wet ass pussy, some big ass booty. It's trash.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day.
Welp, it's facts, because WAP gets you anything.
I love Miss Law. Let's talk about some. Let's get a little bit deeper into the effects of music on the Black community. While these brothers were disrespecting Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion's sexuality,
we needed a clip of that too.
What'd
next
you say?
time we getting clips of everything next time.
Oh yeah. So what we're gonna do is that I want to talk about the charity work, because these ladies are actually doing charity work. I know for a fact that there are a lot of people that are in the hip hop community that are doing charities. Cardi B, for example, she's donated over $2 million to the COVID-19 virus funds and different things like that. She's also provided, I think it's over 20 or 30,000 meals to first responders within New York, and I think in Atlanta and different places like that. These people are doing charity. Megan Thee Stallion, like Seba, Chief Seba pointed out as well, is paying for her to go through school. She's actually in school now. She also donates to charities. I mean, the list goes on. We can talk about Akon with charities, even Birdman, you know what I'm saying, where they do their annual drive where Cash Money gives out turkeys and stuff on Thanksgiving, you know what I'm saying, blesses people with homes and stuff like that, with building funds. Lil Wayne, T.I., you know what I'm saying, the list goes on and on. Common, all these people who are Snoop Dogg, all these people who are philanthropists, you know what I'm saying, but they're not putting everything out, you know what I'm saying, for people to see, because when you help someone and you help them from the heart, it's not meant for the world to judge how big or how small the contribution is, because you do it from the heart. You do it because you love.
They ain't know what Nipsey was doing till he was dead.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Queen Latifah, I mean, like, I can just B.O.B., the list goes on and on. Dr. Dre, Big Sean, you know what I'm saying, Jay-Z, Fabulous, Meek Mill. These guys all have active charities to where you can actually Google them. And you can actually look at the charities and stuff that they're donating to the game. You got Ludacris, Missy Elliott, of course. You got Eminem, Weezy, J. Cole. I mean, the list goes on and on. Lil' Kim, it goes on and on. You know what I'm saying? So all these people are doing charity work, and they're doing charity work for the Black communities. They're not doing anything with anything as far as the white communities. The only thing I would consider would be that has some type of white impetus or some type of impetus on that manner is the COVID stuff, because of course it's not just for, you know, just one particular race, it's for everybody. But most of these people are doing charitable things in the Black community. Tell me how you, as a person looking at that, how that is affecting Black people as far as in the community, how the music, because we were saying that there's adult club songs, okay, and these songs are not for children. So now we're already on an adult tip. So as an adult, with you seeing these rappers doing philanthropy work, what does it make you feel? As far as how do you think that that's affecting the Black community?
In my opinion, I really see that, you know, the music, the entertainment, and them being able to take that platform and also use it for good.
Mm-hmm.
And that lets us see, entertainment is one thing. How you make your living is one thing. You know what I'm saying? But what they do with, you know, the money that they make and give back, that's what they need to be looking at, not how they made their living. They're giving back, and them giving back really, really helps our communities. It really, you know, it really showed that, you know, just because they're making the music that some people don't agree with, they doing positive with the money they're making from it. Because if it wasn't for them being in the industry and making the music, they wouldn't be able to give back. You know, so I really commend them for giving back like that. Because they don't have to, but they choose to, because they know somebody has to do it.
I think that enough light don't get shined on it. I believe that the help that they're giving to the communities should get just as much light shined on it as the music hits, as the #1 records, as the top charts, as the radio plays, the spins, the streams, all that credit. I think the charitable work should get just as much credit.
Yep.
I think if you have, like they give humanitarian awards away and shit like that. Not necessarily on that level to where they should get an award or something like that. I just think it should be something that a light gets shined. They should have a commercial for that. That it should be some kind of funding within their camp or within their label mates or however, to shine a light on that, to let that be known. Not only is this artist doing this, they also giving back. And I mean, you can find some of that. I mean, you can find a lot of it because, you know, if you follow them on Instagram and things of that nature, you know, you can see these things. But, you know, your average watcher don't do that type of shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Your average watcher go on YouTube and just, you know, watch that. See they little, you know, videos or whatnot. Skim through. They basically got they 60, 70 songs they listen to a week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not even knowing what these artists is doing on the low. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of them are giving back. I even seen Moneybagg Yo, Young Dog, all them cats, you know, giving 10,000 here, 30,000 there, you know, for charities and things of that nature. So, I mean, to me, they work for that money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? No matter where they came from, you know, how they came up, what their story is, they work for that money, and it's commendable that they giving it back to the community. But in the same token, like, yeah, they might just be doing it because they're doing it out the kindness of their heart. But shine some light on that though. You know what I mean? If you want to criticize them for music, you know, for being artists, when they fucking shine some light on what they doing good in the community.
Yeah, I think and I'm gonna put a different spin on this. We had an experience back in this was around the time when Hurricane Katrina hit. As the track stars, you know, that's when they were, you know, shipping families out all over the United States, and a bunch of them, you know, came to St. Louis. And so we had we had a charity foundation, and we also took families. We took all the Hurricane Katrina victims, and we took them to Targets, Walmarts, and all these places, and spent like well over $70,000, literally, like over all these families. It was another situation where we did a event with the Nation of Islam with Brother James Muhammad, where they had a program called Dynasty Hip Hop, where we went around and we mentored the kids for free, no money. You know, once again, we mentored, gave, donated, and did all these things. We had a DSEG program where we went out to the schools where the children were getting bused to the, you know, to the white schools, and we would deal with the black students that was, you know, getting bullied by the white students. So to make a long story short, no coverage, no media press, no nothing. But when we got that tax case, when the IRS came knocking on the track store's door, everybody shared it on Facebook. Everybody put our information out there, even my own family, my sister, you know, put my business out there. Like, but not one person shared anything we did in that light. So I'm just saying this to say that this world is just geared around more negativity because it makes a better story. People feed more into the negative aspect of what they perceive in reality. But when people do things good, nobody talks about it. Because I said, to this day, we've never got any light shine on those situations. Nobody even know that. When I tell them, they be like, wow, y'all did that. You know what I'm saying? So it just doesn't make a good story in the world where you got places like the Shade Room and all of these places that's geared off of negativity. Like for example, when Kevin Hart put his documentary out, which was positive, they took one soundbite out of his documentary about him cheating on his wife and ran that. They didn't share none of the other positive stuff he did. Nothing else. They just took that soundbite and made it a story, and everybody fed off that. You see what I'm saying? So I just think that is just this reality. The way things work is just geared more towards negativity. People just feed more into that. And when these rappers do these positive things to these entertainers and actors, it's nobody sheds lights on it. It's just like, this is what they're supposed to do. We don't care, you know, type of thing. Right. So, yeah.
Seba, Khemra, if I may, I think Brother Sham just made a profound point. When brothers and sisters in our community do positive things, you don't have a light shined on, unless they have surrounded themselves by the European media and align themselves with that side of the equation, because all we want to do is consume ourselves with negative energy. And now why that's the case, I haven't quite figured out, but I do know that, like, not my favorite album of 2020 was King's Disease by Nas. He said something, I had to laugh because this is something I've been knowing, but a lot of people don't know. He said Michael Jordan gives back, but people don't know it, like LeBron does, but they seldomly show it. And so I say that to say we hear a lot of negative things about Michael Jordan. He said that Republicans buy sneakers too. He invested in the prison industrial complex, but we don't hear about the millions he give away per year to Black youth programs, to Black inner city programs, etc. We hear about all the time how these Black entertainers get themselves into trouble, or they make negative comments on Twitter, but we really don't hear about the things they give back with regards to their community, because nobody cares about the positive aspects of what we do as a people. My wife, as I told you, she's a vice president in the company she worked with. Her whole team, minus one person, or us, So she empowering people with regards to salary. We talking about 75 grand and up. That's not good enough because to some black people in her company, because she's made it to vice president, she a token Negro. It don't matter that she didn't put 10 people in position to make 75 grand a year, and they on track, she developing them and mentoring them to get to where she is. She a token Negro. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We are our own worst enemy and our own worst critic because we still have that plantation mentality and people don't want to acknowledge it. They say, well, slavery was so many years ago, but it wouldn't have, when we look at the grand scheme of slavery, it wasn't even 200 years ago. So we still have those aspects and those traits superimposed on us to where we hate on each other to get ahead and massa eyes. See, if I can get over on that field nigga and I can get in the house, or if I can get a better position in the field than that nigga do, then I can get ahead. If I can hate on that nigga and get in a better position, and it's subconscious. I ain't saying that everybody do it on purpose. It's a lot of people who think they pro-black, but they feel it's their job to critique black people. Like we get people who say they pro-black, but at the same time, they want to point out that, well, it was black people at the Trump rally that seized the Capitol. Mm. Okay. It'd be white people at Black Lives Matter protests. What's your point? Mm-hmm. Well, I'm just saying that it was black people that, again, what's your point?
What's your point?
So, you see what I'm saying?
It's funny you said that. It's funny you said that because you'll notice that black people talk about the white people being in Black Lives Matter protests. Like, so? You know what I'm saying, nigga? So? They supposed to be out there. They
they should be.
That's fuck?
All I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now
real talk.
I wanna say this too, because now we getting ready to get into the stuff where we're talking about some of the negative aspects that were spoke on in this video. Let's talk about, I wanna kind of give like a little thing about twerking. I wanna talk about twerking, okay? So we need to understand the origins of twerking, and the origins of twerking is not Miley Cyrus. If you actually Google right now, I challenge everybody, Google the origins of twerking, and Google will tell you who first invented twerking. They said the word twerk is a dance move that was popularized by singer Miley Cyrus.
What?
Brother, you joking, right?
What?
You joking. Khemra, you joking.
What?
The only thing that Miley Cyrus did was make it look bad. But
hold on.
Well, I remember when she did it on that award show. And then they, I guess that's when the white community learned about it. But yeah,
read that.
That was ridiculous. That was pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, she just made it popular in white culture. Yeah, she just made it popular in white culture. It's always been around. Yeah, it's always been there.
It's always been around, exactly.
Can you read that one more time?
It says if we ask the actual caption I typed in is the origin of twerking in Africa. Okay, in Africa. And it came up who first invented twerking. It says, and I quote, the word twerk, a dance move popularized by singer Miley Cyrus, actually dates back to 1820, according to the Oxford English Dictionary. Researchers found the word, one of 500 new dictionary entries, was first used in 1820. So this is a bunch of filibuster type stuff. So this has nothing to do with really the origin of twerking. They just gave it to Miley Cyrus.
Hey, bro, you know me and you gonna have to do a show. We're gonna decolonize twerking.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, shit, we had a song back in Miss Law. You might, I don't know if y'all was around to remember, like we a little older, but we had a song in 95 out of order called Work Something, Twerk
Something. Twerk Something, yeah.
I remember that. Facts.
That was in 94, 95.
So let's talk about what their impetus was when we're talking about twerking. So they were saying that popular rap music is destroying the culture of, is destroying the Black community because of the twerking aspect, with seeing the women twerking on the music videos. And now we see the girls and stuff, little girls and things like that. You'll see them twerking or different things like that. Let's speak to that, you know what I'm saying, as far as the twerking. So we all are clear on this panel that twerking comes from Africa, correct?
Yes.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So just wanted to, so we got that straight. We all thumbs up with that. So let's move forward. Let's talk about twerking.
Is this supposed to be a negative comment?
This is one of the points that the brothers brought up in the videos as far as the twerking and different things like that. And then next we're going to get to the guns and the killing. So first we're going to address the twerking. Then we're going to get to the guns and the killing, because they said that because people see these things in popular rap music, they internalize these things, and then what they do is they regurgitate this behavior. So let's speak on that.
I mean, what exactly? I mean, twerking that's just a new name of it, but they've been doing that particular move for I don't know how long. It just keeps changing name.
Put your hands on your
Doodle
knees.
Brown?
Shake your butt.
The
Put your hands
poppet.
on your knees. Shake your butt.
Right. Shake your butt. The what they used to call it, the Doodle Brown. Remember that? That
Wait a minute. You can go back to disco time. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake.
Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty.
Shake your
booty. A good song.
They've been booty shaking for so long.
No, man, that's a good song.
Change the name.
What?
So do you feel that because people see it, and also we can go to the Caribbean, we can call it whining. We can talk about the slow whining.
Yeah, the Jamaicans been turned.
Don't forget our local friendly child molester, R. Kelly. Girl, I want to be alone with you just to see. So what I'm saying is that, do you guys feel, just being about, do you feel like this is something that's a negative stereotype on our people, even though, now listen, even though they credit a white person for making it popular? I'm listening.
It's not a negative step. It's just that it's always been a popular dance from as far back as I can remember. When I used to dance, I back then I called it the Doodle Brown. So I don't know.
Doodle Brown.
That's what I used to call it when I used to call myself. I can't do it now because I got a herniated disc in my back. But back in the day, I used to think that Lou, come on, boy, you couldn't get me off the floor from twerking.
So
I don't know, man.
Oh,
yeah, I agree with what Ms. Law saying to 100%. I think one of the biggest problems I see with us, in the discussion we're having tonight, is you got to look at the time and day that we in right now in this era. Consciousness is on the rise. You got, I've never seen as many the young pharaohs, and then there's a lot of younger people now that's getting into consciousness now. And then social media have given everybody a platform. You know what I'm saying? Whether what you call pseudo, or whether people disagree with you or not. So I think the problem is now that because consciousness is on the all-time rise and people are awakening, then you got the woke thing, you got the spiritual thing, which I explained on Facebook the other day. I just think that we live in a time now where everything is going to be nitpicked, no matter what anybody do or say, because we got all these spiritual gurus, and like a lot of people are capitalizing off the conscious community, and people seeing it as an opportunity. Then you got YouTube, where people get paid off videos, so they're making videos, you know what I'm saying, monetizing their videos, scrutinizing the Cardi B or twerking or whatever. So I just think that anything anybody do at this point is going to get nitpicked, you know what I'm saying? I mean, because everybody's a guru now. Everybody's conscious. Everybody has information. So we're, especially Black people, like we're looking to blame, just like the religious thing, like we're looking for somebody to save us. We're looking to blame everything on our condition. So if somebody twerk is bad, if somebody do this is bad. And then Miley Cyrus starts twerking, you know what I'm saying? Because she made it popular in the white community. And then another thing too, I noticed, whenever things start crossing over to their culture and they don't like it, then a lot of these people, I believe, are paid agents and people that come actually infiltrate that reality, making these videos and scrutinizing, twerking and all of these things, because now it's infiltrating their kids. If you look at these rap shows now, look in the audience, it's nothing but white people in the audience now.
That's right.
So it's starting to infiltrate their communities. They don't like that. So now everything is being over scrutinized and they're trying to degrade everything that we created to make us look bad. But like Ms. Law said, it's always been around and nobody's really said anything until it started to become popular culture globally. Now it's a problem. You know, look, Kim Jong-un in China twerking and, somebody in the UK twerking. Now it's becoming a problem because it's hitting their backyard and they don't like it.
That's true.
Yeah, and who's about to have a problem with some ass? Shaking? You got a problem
Becky doing it? Look at little Becky doing it. That's why look 18-year-old Abigail,
right,
she in there and they don't like
she throwing her whole damn spine out and ain't moving her ass cheek.
Nothing there.
Right. Look at TikTok. That's all the TikTok. All the white girls on TikTok twerking.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's all you see on TikTok is white chicks twerking and booty
that's
stuff.
True. Mm-hmm.
Just to piggyback off
what I think it is, I think it's just the internet for real paradigm. We take issue to people doing things and they're exercising their freedom to do what they want to do. Like it's like this. Like as a father, like I said, I got 4 daughters, and 2 of my daughters are grown. One married with children, the other one is a senior in college. I can't do a damn thing about them twerking. One is getting ready to be 27 years old. The other one getting ready to be 23. And if they want to twerk, what can pops do? But that 15 and that 16-year-old that's upstairs, hey, I don't want to see you twerk. I don't. And I can put my foot down on that. But after they get a particular age, it ain't gonna be a damn thing I can do about it. And I think that's like we equate women having the freedom to do what they want to do with something bad. That's at least to me, that's what it seemed like. And so where do we draw the line with not only female and feminine freedom and female sexual freedom? Because see, when I used to be in the club and I push up on a chick, I want her to grind up on me in a particular way. But now when it comes to my daughter, I feel a way about it. You see what I'm saying? But is that hypocrisy, or is that just me being a father?
That's just you being a father. Because at the end of the day, you wouldn't mind looking at a woman that's not your daughter, whining and twerking.
I was going to say.
So what's the line of demarcation between where we feel like we can put our opinion down on what a woman should do and what she shouldn't do based on our adjacency to her? As a father, yeah, I'm gonna state my opinion on what I feel my daughter should be doing and how she should be behaving. But as a sister who just living her life and doing what she want to do, why do we as Black men feel like we have the ability or the authority to speak on that?
No, I don't feel like I have the ability or authority to speak on any of it. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy it. I enjoy the culture. I enjoy music. And I'm a bad person at the club because I go to the club, I'll have me a drink or something, and I'll sit down and I'll just listen to the music and I'll be studying. You understand what I'm saying? Studying what people are moving to, studying what makes the women twerk, study what makes the men groove, and get their 2-step on. I study that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So to me, like I said, as a creator of music, as a creator of hit records, you know what I'm saying? Like it's very, very hard for me sometimes to really get out and kind of look at it in an objective sense, you know what I'm saying? Because the twerking doesn't offend me at all. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't offend me. People are out having a good time. People work, you know what I'm saying, a whole bunch of hours, you know what I'm saying, a week, and they deserve to be able to go out and be who they are. You understand what I'm saying? There should be no restrictions on a person expressing themselves, on a person living their life and living their dream. and living it like it's golden. You know what I'm saying? Big shouts out to Jill Scott. But I just don't object to it at all. It doesn't offend me. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as my daughter doing it or something like that, as a parent, that's different. Once again, we're going to say again that twerking is not for little girls. Twerking is for adults.
But what about the little girls? What about the little girls in Africa that do it? I done seen all type of videos where
I honestly think the way they do it in their culture, to me, when I watch the kids do it, that's from, you know, Africa, they don't do it in a sexual manner.
I agree.
It's because they do it, you know, it's some type of traditional form.
It's a ritualistic, tribal.
And it looks more, it looks more, you know what I'm saying, traditional, cultural. Over here, they do it as a dance move to be kind of sexualized and sexy sometimes, but it doesn't compare to how they do it over there. It's done two different ways, and the way the energy, you know, the energy when it's done over there looks a lot different than when it's done over here. You don't look at it the same way. It's two different ways to me.
Yeah.
So when the kids do it over there, I'd be like, that's nice. That's, you know, that it don't look the same. The energy is not the same.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, it's basically an original African dance that's been sexualized. So now that it's been sexualized, when anybody does it here, you're going to automatically, you already subconsciously is going to, you know, look at it in that aspect. You know what I'm saying? Because it's already been given that title, but we know where it originates from, and it really doesn't. It never was meant to go that way. But that's what I was saying earlier, when like it's like people take things and they put spins on it, and then they make it bad, what we call good or bad. You know what I'm saying? And then it just gets weird from there. So now when the girl over here do it, because it already has that over-sexualized title, then that's what it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? So it's just weird, man. It's you know, I know Toby, I know Bobby Hemmett. I listen to a lot of Bobby Hemmett. Like, and one thing I agree about Brother Bobby Hemmett says is that like we are just so conditioned, like everything is bad. Everything, you know what I'm saying? Everything that happens is bad, and we get these titles. And then a lot of this stuff comes from the church too, because going back to what you were saying, Tovin, is that like everything is over-sexualized because of that Bible. You know what I'm saying? The woman can't do this, the woman can't do that, the woman can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we feel like it's our duty, because it's subconsciously programmed in our mind that we have to correct women every time they do something. Every time we feel like they move their body a certain way, it's out of line, because of that subconscious programming that we are in control and you do what we tell you to do type of thing. So I'm with y'all on that. It's just real sensitive to me. I got daughters too, like, but I taught them spirituality growing up. So they're very aware and understanding what's going on. They know what's up, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of it starts in the home as a parent, if we're gonna look at it from that aspect too as well. I don't worry about them watching the videos, because I already taught them. They already know what time it is.
I mean, I'll say this, it's a lot of different type of dancing, you know. And sometimes twerking get incorporated in it. Like if you had a daughter that was on a dance team or something, you know, they may have a move like that.
They emulate twerking, yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a dance move. And I mean, there's nothing more, nothing less. I mean, you can't really put too much strain on something, but the way it's looked at, the way it's portrayed is this or that. But I mean, that's just like men that say shit like, oh, you know, she was asking for it, you know, after you done raped the motherfucker. You know, you can't say this woman in the club just because she's shaking her ass that she want to get fucked.
It's facts.
She may just
by you,
by anybody,
right?
I mean, she may just like shaking her ass.
There you go.
It's a dance move. It's a dance move. It's like doing the splits. Are you telling me because that woman did the splits that she want to fuck?
Facts.
She got her legs wide open, man. Huh? You feel what I'm saying?
And that's that hypersexualized stuff. Absolutely, I agree with you, King.
Exactly.
And that's why my cousin in jail.
What about ballerinas? They wear fucking tutus and tights and shit and twirl around. I mean, what you gonna tell me she wanna fuck? Cause I mean, look what they got on, man. Look what they got on. You got strippers that, I mean,
it's a job. It's just a job.
You go in the strip club, you might find what you're looking. You know what I'm saying? If you're looking for a motherfucker that's on that level, yeah, you might find that in there because, I mean, it's one of those. That's that type of lifestyle.
Yeah,
you feel what I'm saying? You can't go to a ballet looking to get your dick sucked. You feel what I'm saying? But they got on tutus and shit, man. You feel me? So,
and you speaking to a great point, King, because my cousin, Vanessa Check, shout out to you, baby. You coming home soon. We love you. She had a situation to where a man was over-sexualized, okay? Her friend and her were in the bar celebrating. They were having a drink with some friends of theirs, and the guy was interested in her friend. Her friend went to the bathroom. The guy approached her, walked up on her, you know what I'm saying, calling her obscenities, groping her, you know what I'm saying, grabbing her booty, you know what I'm saying, you know, it's all kind of crazy things. They continued. They moved away, moved into a different section. He bought a drink, came over to their section, and asked her, hey, you know you want this, you know, I'm gonna give you one last chance. The girl says no. That was with my cousin. She says no. The guy throws a drink on her. Okay. Then her friend retaliated by throwing her drink on him, and then he hits her and knocks her unconscious. So my cousin, she goes and she pulls her pistol because at this particular moment, she doesn't know if her life is in danger. So with her life being in danger, she immediately reached for the pistol and she started thumping. Because at this particular time, she didn't know if her friend was dead. All she saw was a big, grown, hypersexualized man that was drunk, hit her friend and knocked her friend unconscious, and her friend was not moving. Her friend's body was lifeless on the ground. So she went and she shot, and she made sure that he was down because she did not want the same thing to happen. And she drug her friend out the front door. She revived her friend, and then they went on about their business. And the guys pulled up on the side of her that were with the guy, and they shot into my cousin's car. They injured her on her arm, and she had to go to the hospital. And from there, the police locked her up, and she is there currently right now. The family is trying to say that she is a mass murderer, that she is a murderer, that she does not need to be on the streets. But they're not speaking about their family member being hypersexualized because a woman is wearing something that's revealing and saying, well, you wearing this, so you must want this. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's the same stuff that you were talking about, King. It's the same exact thing. But because she defended herself as a woman, she's a monster because she killed that man. And because her life was in danger, and because he hit her friend, and she was well within the grounds of stand your ground, because there's a stand your ground statute here in Missouri. And she was well within those rights, and she's gonna be out soon. But she's had to stay. I think she's been in jail for maybe what, 4 or 5 months, Cham?
That was the summertime when you told me about that one.
Yeah. So she's been in jail this entire time for that. And they keep pushing her. They keep pushing her date back because they're trying to find evidence to get her locked up. That's against stand your ground. But she qualifies under stand your ground for it to be gone.
And that speaks to a bigger problem. If this was a white male, she wouldn't even be locked up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If that was a white male and he felt his life was in danger, he wouldn't even be locked up. No doubt about that. From my perspective.
Hell, if it was a white woman, she definitely wouldn't be like that.
So I want to ask y'all this, and I got to step away for a little bit, and I'm gonna let Seba Khemra can continue on. As it pertains to the music industry from y'all perspective, I know how hip hop affected and influenced me as a youngster. You know, listening to Pac, Biggie, Nas, Jay-Z, etc. How do y'all feel hip hop or music in general has affected the youth? because I know some of the brothers were talking about the materialistic aspects that hip hop has adopted, the criminalistic aspects that hip hop has adopted, you know, with regards to the music illustrating real life. But that was what attracted me to Tupac. I was a big Tupac fan from when he was in Digital Underground. But the album that really affected my life to this day was Me Against the World. With what I was going through at that time in my life as a sophomore in high school, going into my junior year, and just like it was almost like this man was in my head. And so when you have somebody touch on your life like that, it affects you in a pretty profound way as a teenager, and you know, coming out of adolescence, etc. So anyway, from whatever perspective you want to touch on, from an influence standpoint, how has music influenced you all personally and the Black community overall? And like I said, I'm gonna step away. Y'all go ahead and continue.
You know, before anybody comments, I just want to say our ancestors were not broke. So when it comes to materialistic things and people having money, I think that we're well within our means to do that. Nice things, it doesn't, like, that's what I'm saying. The whole complex of being bound by book, that you have to be a lowly servant, that you have to keep your head bowed, that you have to be submissive to everything that's around you. I think that it's a dead principle. And that's why I say that people who are bound by a book do not have a consciousness. What I'm going to say to that is this, is that once again, our ancestors were not broke. They had chains, not like you know, rap chains or anything like that, but they had jewelry. They had nice things. You know what I'm saying? They weren't broke. So as far as the materialistic thing, I think the only point that I would say to that is that I have met people who are in the diaspora with us that do equate self-worth to materialistic things. You have people out here that will spend about $900 to maybe $1,200 for an iPhone and don't even know anything that's in it. They just have it because they feel like it's a status symbol. Now, that's a different problem that we have to address, because that problem was already there before anybody said anything about an iPhone. We have an issue with that within the Black community, because in schools, we are not taught to have value. We are taught that we were slaves, and this is where we started, that we were slaves. So anything that we can have to bring self-worth to ourselves is what we will seek, is what we will try to get, whether it's through quick money, whether it's through somebody putting a damn ball in our hand and saying to run it, all those different things, because we want to, the narrative a lot of times is we want to get out the hood. We want to get out of the situation of poverty. We want to do this, we want to do that. And having nice things still doesn't get you out of the situation of poverty. A lot of times poverty is in your mind. And it depends on the approach that you take to it, because if you work hard, you'll eventually get what you need to get. If you put yourself in the right situations, put yourself in the right positions. Yes, we do operate in a system of systemic racism, absolutely, and we'll talk a little bit about that more in the show with these last two questions that I have for the panel. But I just want to let people know that our ancestors in Kemet, we did have nice things. We did have things of value. It did not warp our mind or cloud our mind. The people of Kemet did not hear the baby. You understand what I'm saying? They did not see the baby and wanted to get a whole bunch of chains. They did not see Wu-Tang Clan or any of those other people. They didn't see any of those people and want to get wealth. They had wealth, they amassed it, and they were on a whole different spiritual vibration. So I'll yield to someone else who wants to comment.
Man, that's deep. This is deep. I'll chime in real quick. To me, when you look at what we call so-called gangster rap and reality rap and all these things, like to me it was already a setup before it even began, because they made a conscious effort to destroy us. That was always their motive from the beginning, to destroy us. And so when you got a kid that's in the projects and that's all he see, subconsciously he's hearing gunshots every day. He look on TV. This is all he see. You're going to eventually become a product of your environment. That's why when you listen to pop music, you don't hear Taylor Swift talking about that. You don't hear Katy Perry talking about that, or these people talking about that, because they are a product of their environment. Even if you look at a group like New Edition, they were still a pop group, but even though they sung pop melodies, they still was a product of their environment with Bobby Brown, and they went through a lot of things as well because they were from the inner city. So I think it's been a setup from the beginning. Saying if you're around something all the time, you're going to eventually become it. You're going to subconsciously be programmed for that to become your reality. So for me, these rappers really never even had a chance. And then when you look at the conscious rapper like the Wu-Tang Clan and these people, they had elders and people around them that taught them. They had Papa Wu that just transitioned, who was a 5% nation of the gods, and he taught them as young kids. So they had more of a guidance. That's why when you listen to more East Coast rap like Rakim and the Wu-Tang Clan, like they came more from the 5% nation of gods, and there was more of an effect in their community where they had that guidance. But the people that didn't have that guidance, that's all they see. That's all they seen. So I don't think just me being around rappers and talking to them personally, like a lot of these guys I've met in our career, a lot of them said they didn't really want to do it. Like it's just that's all they know what to do. You know what I'm saying? And I think before Nip was killed, he was trying to change that narrative because but see, it goes back to what I'm saying. Nipsey Hussle mother was conscious. You see where he's going. So although he was in the streets, he still had somebody around him, and he had his mother around him. Same with Pac. Pac was conscious as well because he had his mother around him, the Black Panther Party of Phoenix Shakur. So I just think they were doomed from the beginning, and they are a product of their environment. And the people that kind of broke out of that had people around them to guide them, consciously as they were coming up. So that's my spin on it.
Yeah. And also with that, what I'm saying, we the brothers said on the channel or on the video, they were also talking about as far as how the music industry is built to destroy them. And it's kind of similar to what you said, partner, is that they were doomed from the start. They already had a plan. This is how we control the Black mind and different things like that. Like there are labels that put out things with an agenda. You understand what I'm saying? Can we speak to that a little bit too? Because I think that was something that they brought up too, as far as the labels having an agenda and different things like that. Like, tell me, like, let's talk about how it's different now, if it is different now than from back then.
No, it ain't no different. The labels, they probably, from what I can tell, it's just basically the same line of the same cast of artists, just different generations. And they make more money not having to pay these motherfuckers. So the ones that are going to prison, the ones that are getting killed, the ones that are taking slave deals just to get out the hood, the ones that only want the jewelry, that only care about the WAP and the cars and things of that nature, they're taking advantage of them. And they always have. I mean, look what they did to all them niggas on Cadillac Records. This is from the beginning they were doing this. That's something that will never change. That's law. That's always going to be a part. If you're not coming in this game level-headed, or if you ain't one of the cats that's selling dope, $100,000, you know what I'm saying, quarterly, then you're going to come into the game and you're going to get fucked. Just the same as everybody else that was in the game that's been in this music industry. I mean, why the fuck would Frankie Beverly and Babe, why the fuck would Frankie Beverly and Maze still have to go somewhere and perform? Why? You know what I'm saying? So, to me, that's something that's a given. That's a given. That the industry wasn't built for Black people. It wasn't meant for us to get in it and get money. That's not what it was meant for. And it's easy to take somebody that's from a project. I mean, that's something that they built up for us too.
So yeah, let's build this up. Let's get all the smart niggas that can put words together out of this motherfucker. Let's give them $1 million and see what happens. But we know what's gonna happen. They're gonna take their ass to prison, or they're gonna take their ass to the cemetery. One or the other. And the ones that's trying to come in independent, oh no, we're gonna stop your fucking flow. We're gonna put so much money in front of you that you can't even say no.
What you think, Law?
It's the same exact cycle.
What you think, Law?
Let me unmute. The baby was crying. No, I'm in agreement with everything that's being said, but the question that you originally had about music. Phrase that one more time. I think it was asking how it changed and how it influenced us.
So we know that there were certain engines that were built to bring a message to Black people in order to facilitate control. Do you feel like that message, or the people who run the big machines, do you still feel like they're present now, or do you feel like they died down, or is it still the same?
I think she wanted the question before this question.
Right, but to your point about if I feel it's still the same. Labels. The only thing about labels is they not as controlling because of everything being able to be geared for independence, but they still have a big hold on the music industry. As far as like on the major hold. But I was sitting here kind of like thinking about his question. That's what kind of had me a little distracted, because he had me really thinking back on how I even got involved and how music really influenced and had made a difference on my life that I was pondering on how to answer.
What you come up with so far? What you come up with so far?
Man, you just don't understand. Music, in my opinion, has changed my life, have saved my life. I say that to say I'm in my 40s, okay? I came up around the time when the crack era was booming. I came up growing up where it actually took over my whole entire family, my whole entire neighborhood. And music actually was the only thing I feel kept me on a straight and narrow. I was able to write to get what I used to see all the time out. Watching your whole entire family and your whole entire neighborhood be struck by crack is crazy. If it wasn't for me having, music to listen to, music on my mind all the time, I think I would have lost my mind, if that make any sense. Sure. It was hard, like my first, I'll say up until I was about 12, 13 years old. And music was the only thing that kept me feeling like it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Music and my grandma, them two, I feel saved my life, because I raised myself. I couldn't depend on my family because it was nothing positive about them. I got all my positivity out of music and my grandma. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, if I didn't turn to music, I probably would have been along the lines of the rest of the family in the neighborhood, following the drug path.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, if it wasn't for, music, because music, it talks to you. It really do. It helps every mood that you have. You know what I'm saying? Music, I mean, back then that was good music. Now you'll be on Molly syrup.
Man.
You'll be on everything, but back then when I was growing up, music did some things. You know what I'm saying? It really, really, really put me on a path to be where I'm at. It really has. So I'm glad to be part of the generation of music where it was about something, because I don't know what the hell going on these days. Yeah, so he really put that, he really brought that back when he asked that question. I'm like, you just don't understand. Music and me like this. For real. Music and me like this. It just won't go away. It's in my soul.
Shay. Sham, I'm listening.
What point we building on now?
As far as the music and how it affected your life and different things like that. If it wasn't as far as like, did it change who you are as a person? You know, because the brothers were insinuating that because these people are listening to Molly and Perp and different things like that, now they're doing it. You understand what I'm saying? And so we want to speak on that a little bit.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. So I think for me personally, once again, like it's kind of hard because, like for me, like when we came up, you know, we did music. So it was, you know, saying we looked, you know, me as far as me being a music producer, I always looked at music from a different perspective. So even if I heard what you call the so-called bad record or so-called good record, I just listened to it as music. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't listen to NWA and, you know what I'm saying, and go out there and, you know, fuck the police and go smash police windows. Or I didn't listen to the Ghetto Boys and, you know, or all these, like I said, you know, rappers in our generation that we came up on and looked at their lifestyle and what they did in their culture and try to emulate their culture. Because we were so much into the music, we were just trying to make sure our music was just as good as their music. So, so it didn't really, so music, me growing up, it didn't really affect me in that manner, where I would listen to rap and get influenced by it, like you see a lot of the kids today. And like I said, maybe it's because we actually did music and looked at it from a different perspective than how somebody else look at it. You know what I'm saying? Like even when I listen to everything. I listen to even these days with, you know, the stuff my daughters listen to, the youngsters listen to. I listen to everything because even though it's a generational gap as far as where we came, I still listen to it as a producer. So when I listen to Kodak Black, NBA Youngboy, anybody, I'm critiquing their bars. I'm listening to the music. I'm not so far getting off into the violence and the lifestyle because we already know what that is. It's just they're just speaking on a perspective of what they know. So music didn't really affect me in that way growing up. I was just more infatuated with the fact that I can do music. And when I seen Quincy Jones and, you know, saying these type of people growing up, like these were my mentors as far as creating music that inspired me to create music. So when people have these conversations with me, like it's hard for me to, you know, kind of comment on that because maybe you could say we were some of the lucky ones, but we didn't allow music to affect us. Or we actually went out and did what these rappers said they were doing. Or just because, you know, Eazy-E said he had a gun, you know, we didn't go out and get guns because of that. You know what I mean? So that's just my perspective on it. And that's how, you know, but the overall music affected me because of the art of the music. I was just infatuated with how music was put together. Like I said, more than just hearing music, on how they actually creating the music. And that's where me and people like you are a little bit different.
No shade.
Now I'll say this about music. When I was a kid, really like listening to music, I would listen to everything and anything. I mean, I would listen to Garth Brooks, Michael Jackson, MC Hammer. I listen to Marvin Gaye. I'll listen to the Pointer Sisters. I wouldn't give a fuck what was playing. I didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. I wouldn't have known what Eazy-E was talking about unless I had a dick. I knew then. But all that other shit, I didn't know what they was talking about for real. I could only vibe to the music. You see what I'm saying? That shit was Greek to me. I didn't know what was being said exactly, but I knew that this music was tight. This vibe is cold. This is making me move. I want to dance. I mean, when the artists I was listening to when I was young, they probably influenced me because I mean, before I was actually rapping, because I started rapping when I was probably like 15. By then, when I was rapping, even at 15, I wanted to be better than any rapper. I wanted to be able to out rap you. I wanted to know how you did your shit and be better than that shit. You know what I'm saying? To piggyback off what Sham was saying. But before then, I mean, I didn't know what the fuck they was talking about. You know what I'm saying? I knew it was good music because it sounded good. It flowed good together. You know what I'm saying? It went well together. You know what I mean? I would listen to a whole Dog Pound CD. I have no idea what these niggas are saying. You know what I'm saying? I'm like 9 years, I'm like 10, 9 years old or some shit. Like, I don't know what the fuck, you know what I mean, is really being said, but I know I like this vibe. I know this beat is banging. I know I can learn these lyrics. You know what I'm saying? And that was it. I didn't know what the hell we was talking about for real. So it didn't give me that type of feeling. Like I feel like, you know, I used to listen to a lot of wild ass music, like Korn and Rage Against the Machine and shit. Like they used to talk some crazy shit. Like Brother Lynch, used to talk some crazy shit. I would feel like, dog, would I really go out here and do that shit? You know what I'm saying? Like I just got better sense than that. You know what I'm saying? I was raised better than that. But I think the influence that music is having on the community is even more fucked up now than it was because this is what they know. Like even they mama and daddy, like if they ain't had no guidance and you know what I'm saying, this is all they know. If your mom, this all she listened to is trap music, that's all you know. You know what I'm saying? And that's what infatuates you. And then not to mention if you ain't, you know, I listen to everything. So if you ain't ever been exposed to like real music, like the music of the 70s, you know what I'm saying, 80s, you know, even before then, like if you wasn't exposed to that type of music, I don't even think you know what music is.
And real quick, and real quick, to piggyback off what SK saying, he absolutely right with that. Where like when we like when you listen to somebody like Tupac, like Pac, you know, he had that side to him that was street, but then Pac had a you know, a conscious side to him. So when we grew up, like he said, like it was all type of elements of music. You had East Coast rap, that Tribe Called Quest, you know what I'm saying, you know, Pete Rock, CL Smooth, the people that I was into. I was more in the East Coast rap than I was in like West Coast rap and stuff like that. So, and then you had West Coast rap, and then you even had West Coast rappers that were lyrical MCs. So, like he said, when we grew up in music, like you had a variety of everything. You had, you know, it was hard cats back then that was super thug cats that was listening to R&B music like SWV and people like that. I remember that, you know what I'm saying? But now it's no like diversity anymore as far as the hip hop culture go. Whenever you cut on Instagram in the shade room, you see guns. As a matter of fact, I know a girl, I can't make this up, bro. Her son the other day and his friend was shooting a music video and she was filming it on live. They had, I don't know if the guns were real, if they was props, but they had guns, AR-15s and all type of stuff. And I know this kid. This kid ain't never bust a grape in his life. Like he's like a nerd, geeky kid. So when I seen it, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, she actually let him do this? And I know his mother. You know what I'm saying? This kid is not, he's not a street kid. Like it's nothing street about it. He's a really nice, respectful kid that went to school and all that. So when I seen that video the other day, I'm like, man, like that went to show me that it's just, it's even forcing kids like him to do that type of music because they don't see anything else. So that's crazy, bro. He has no business doing that, and his mother know that. But that's all they know. So he wants to be a rapper. But if that's all he see that's working, the baby and every drill, Chief Keef and everybody, King Von holding guns, like he's going to emulate that, even though that's not him because he has no other outlet or no other choice of what he see, which is crazy to me.
They never heard no music.
Yeah, I think that there's enough balance of music out here. You know what I'm saying? Like when I grew up, I was listening to all the oldie but goodies. I grew up on all that stuff, you know, songs that people, my queen over here, you know what I'm saying? She doesn't know anything about, you know what I'm saying, a lot of the music that I know. You know, I have to like teach her. She's heard the songs before, but she doesn't know the artist or anything like that. But she still, but she still wants to know and she's still curious about it. Just like my partner was saying and piggybacking off of what he was saying. That's the only lifestyle that he sees. That's the only thing that he sees that's working. He didn't see Michael Jackson do what he's doing to work. He didn't look at any of the other artists that are doing anything different. J. Cole, you know, your Kendrick Lamar's. He didn't look at that. He just saw this particular trap lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? And this is what he chose to do. So, do you guys? And we're gonna close here because we got some people that need to dip out. But the last question that I want to ask you guys, and this is the most important thing, because nobody ever gets to a solution. Nobody ever talks about a solution to the problem. What can we do collectively as people who are really in the music industry, who have things out, who have videos with over 30 views? How can we actually do something, you know what I'm saying, to erect change within the community? How can we actually do something? What are some of the things that we can do to kind of dissuade what's going on, kind of change the narrative?
I think I want to say this. We can just make better music. Take our craft seriously. Perfect our craft. Promote good music. Be different. Be as different as possible. The originality that our generations was built on, finesse that. Expose that. Let men know that they can still be men. Like, chivalry ain't dead. Like, you can still love your queen. You can tell your brother he's a king and tell him that you love him. Like, normalize some real shit and stop fabricating and trying to be something and emulating and putting these kids that's gonna listen to our music and these adults in the same cycle that they've been in. Change this shit. Drop something, do something new, change. Speak positive. Be more positive in our music. We went away from positive and we got on druggy, killer motherfucker, do whatever to get some money shit. Hell no. Change the narrative. And we talked about this the other night, and it's a fucking shame. And it's the truth though. Within the past decade or so, 10 or 15 years, the only superstar from rap or hip hop that we could even think of is Drake. The only superstar. And that shit don't make any sense. No one's been original. No one's been authentic. No one's been positive. And see, that's the thing. You can get that out of a Drake album. You can get positive. You can get original. You can get different. And that's what I would say we could do.
Piggybacking off of what SK was saying, one of the main key things for me, as far as how we can change, as far as as far as the music we're creating and just the music industry in general, is one kid I will make a great example of right now. I may not like his music and don't agree with his music, but the kid NL Chopper out there right now, he's a prime example of his music ain't all the way there, but he's being more effective because of his lifestyle. I keep telling people this over and over again. You're not going to put no bunch of conscious music out that's going to change anything, for real. But where you're going to be more effective is, what are you doing in your life when these kids are watching with the power that you have? NL Chopper is not the most conscious rapper on the planet, but he's out here talking about nature. He's out here talking about meditation. He's out here talking about astral traveling and the third eye. So all these kids are watching that, and they follow this kid. He has my daughters, all of them. He has a big following. So the way that he's being more effective out here is the way he's living his life. Because to me, you could put all this conscious, positive music out there. If it ain't matching up with how you live, it's not going to matter anyway. I would rather somebody like him be out and do what he's doing than somebody that just puts some good music and conscious music out that's not living their life in that way. This kid is out there really showing people that he's changing. Even 21 Savage, he don't wear jewelry anymore. 21 Savage is becoming more conscious, so it's starting to show in his lifestyle. That's what the people are following. It's not really the music. It's they're looking at you. If Kim Kardashian or whoever, Kanye West or whoever, started change their lifestyle and start to show that, then people are going to start following that. So I'm not saying don't make good music and like put out a conscious effort to make, you know, conscious music, but I'm saying you're going to be more effective. If Lil Wayne came out tomorrow and said, you know what, I went through a spiritual awakening and he's showing himself meditating, he's eating healthy, people are going to look at that and they're going to follow that versus tripping off what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? Even if Wayne, like Kendrick Lamar, put out a conscious album, like yeah, it's good music and it's conscious, but let's be honest, and I even heard Kendrick say this, it's not really changing anything. Just because I put out a conscious rap, you know, record, I can rap good, that's not going to change anything. But what, like I said, and I'm gonna end it on this, what's going to change is us being a change and allowing people to see that. Sure. And I'll end it on that note.
Law Queen, last but not least.
You know, I agree to a certain extent to both what SK and Shem are saying. But my only dilemma is that it's so much music out there, so many artists out there. So it's kind of difficult to think that, you know, you put out the positive music and try to, you know, show a certain light in music and creativity and hoping that that's going to make a difference. But if it's not done in droves and damn near everybody's not doing it, it's going to be hard to really influence and change. Yeah, you can possibly be a role model or do the music that may be more positive, but who's going to hear it? It's going to be oversaturated with what they want to hear. It's hard to all of a sudden just start putting out this kind of music because you want to see a change, but it's like dropping a needle, you know, in a haystack. You know, it's going to fall on deaf ears. So only thing we can do as far as like influencing and changing is just, you know, being part of our community, you know, doing the things that our community need, showing the youth, you know what I'm saying? Because that's where it all starts with change is getting to the younger generation and getting them on a more positive level. And music is great, but unless it's a way to get everybody on board, radio ain't playing it. Television ain't gonna play it. So it's not gonna be much we can really do as independents to make a change unless everybody do it together. So we have to first start with maybe reaching out to other artists to make this change, like a revolution. But I don't see that happening. Right now, it's just a bunch of talk. There's not much we can really, you know, do to change the way music is going and the way that it's going and at the rate that it's going, because the younger generation ain't trying to hear it. So all I can do is speak my 2 cents.
I think too, with the way I agree with all three of the points, to be honest, because there's something to be heard from everything. With the way that music is now, with the way that the industry is now, as far as the communication with everybody looking into people's lives. A hit record is a hit record. It's gonna smack. It's gonna smack. You know what I'm saying? It's got a catchy hook. Guess what? Guess who's gonna play it? You see what I'm saying? And so when that stuff gets buzzed, like for example, one of our Interstellar artists, I Am Slick. She has most of her music is smacking. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different sound, a whole different era of music. It's a whole different genre. But the things that she's saying, she's speaking some positive, real stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Like she's saying some real stuff, but the music is catchy, it's smacking. So what happens is that stuff like that slowly starts to infiltrate. And then what happens is that because we have Instagram, because we have the lives, because we have a more personal connection to a lot of the artists that are out here. Because back in those times, back in Marvin Gaye's days and Barry White and all those people, respectfully, they didn't have social media. You know what I'm saying? So now with social media, it kind of brings a different dynamic and aspect to things. With the people that's toting the guns, guess what? They act like they toting guns there. I remember someone told me, that was a record exec, told me that all the people that claim to be trap rappers and different things like that, they're not really trapping. They're not really doing anything like that. You know what I'm saying? This is all just a show. It's a facade. It's a game. Some of that I will agree with, some of that I won't, because I've seen different things in my lifetime as far as the industry. So some of it was real, some of it wasn't. But to make a long story short, I feel like as long as we're all trying to be the example instead of trying to lead by example, we are the example. I know that we will make a difference. You know what I'm saying? It may take time. It's not going to happen overnight, but as long as we're putting a conscious effort, the unity will come. You know what I'm saying? For example, I love the unity in the industry with the females now. You know what I'm saying? Beyonce and Megan Thee Stallion. They did that Savage remix, you know what I'm saying? All the proceeds went to charity. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's power moves. You know, someone as big as Beyonce, just imagine someone as big as Beyonce, now that she's showing all these adornments of our ancestors and Black is King and different things like that. You know how many women she's empowering, how many people she's empowering with that platform that she has. And us as people who have platforms, you know what I'm saying? We can take our platforms and the people who follow us and support us, and we can be the example. We can be the example, and there will be change as long as we're the example. Seba, Bianchi, you got anything to add? Anything else? Anybody got anything else to add? You on mute, Seba?
Let me unmute myself. You know, I always got my little my little 2 cents to throw in. I think that when it comes to our community, we got to do like every other community. We gotta draw the line of demarcation between real life and entertainment. When we watch Power, we don't tell our kids, "Hey, come and watch James St. Patrick and be like Ghost or be like Tariq." We don't do that. So why would we do it with music? It's entertainment. Music evokes a certain feeling. If when I heard I brought up "Stroking" by Clarence Carter. When I hear that, or when I hear "Members Only," that old blues song, it reminds me of my grandmother, but it also evokes a feeling of nostalgia from when I was a kid. Music galvanizes a certain feeling of nostalgia within you and within your soul that you can kind of relate to and use for different purposes to get you through a particular moment in time to evoke a particular feeling, etc. But it's not to be applied to real life. It's for entertainment. It's for inspiration. Sometimes I listen to a particular song to help me come up with a particular mood or mind frame to write a poem that I'm writing or a short story that I'm writing. But it's not to be applied to real life. And we just have to parent our children in that manner. We got to draw a line of demarcation between real life and entertainment the way we do with movies and everything else in life. We don't look at comic books and comic book movies and say, "Hey, son, go jump off that building and see if you can fly." So why would we listen to Amigos album and tell our son or our daughter to evoke what they evoking in their lyrics? You understand what I'm saying? So that's my thing with that. At this point, I do understand that there are a lot of children, unfortunately, in our community who don't have parents who are being proactive. But that's why young Tovin, Seba, Khemra Nsu Sekhemmaat is the Seba of inspiration of the Temple of Heru, because now he gonna start using his musical talents to galvanize the youth and say, "This is what you should be doing," as opposed to that. This is why I'm the chief Seba of the Temple of Heru. So I can say, "Young man, this is what you should be doing instead of that." And so we got brothers who are introspective, like the brother SK, who can look at it from a lens and say, "Okay, I understand why this was interpreted this way, but young man, let me tell you let me put you up on game this way." We got Sham, who is a well-known, world-renowned, award-winning producer who has a level of influence on the street level and on the commercial level to say, "Young brother, young sister, let me school you." We got Miss Law who can do the same thing. So we got people in particular places who can take their talents and take their influence and put their arms around these young men and women and start pushing them in the right direction. We just have to get ourselves in position to do so. But we not gonna put a muzzle on our talents and on what we do to make a living to satisfy a particular section of the community and of society as artists. I'm not gonna stop writing poems about sex and sexuality to satisfy a particular section of society. I'm not gonna stop writing my short stories. I got a short story called The Meek and the Strong about the consequences of taking a life on the street and how that affects your life long term.
Sure.
Because, to spoiler alert, a brother kills a young man, goes to prison, and that the son of the young man who he kills ends up being in a relationship with his daughter. And it's not the type of relationship you want your daughter to be in. But had he not killed that young man's father, perhaps that young man wouldn't be treating his daughter the way he treated him, while he on the inside unable to do a damn thing about it. And so I'm not gonna stop writing those stories because it's a section of our community who think maybe I shouldn't write them. And it's the same thing goes with the consequences of sex, whether it's pleasure or whether it's a sexually transmitted disease. There are consequences to sex that we must talk about and express. And because a section of the community feel like we shouldn't, we're not gonna put a muzzle on our artistic expressions because of that. And we have to be responsible as artists with how we express them and who we express them to and who is meant to be expressed to. But I don't think that we should be muzzled no more than a Marilyn Manson or any of these artists of other ethnicities should. See, we have to be more sophisticated in our thinking as Black people, and we have to be more educated in our thinking as Black people. And again, draw the line of demarcation between entertainment and artistic expression and real life. And that's my 2 cents on it. But again, that's why you the Seba of inspiration. And that's why we're gonna start making an effort to turn that tide. And you're gonna start getting out there in the community, using your influence as somebody who actually in the music industry to say, hey, we can use our talents for this and we can express ourselves as artists, but we still want to display a positive lifestyle towards the people and be responsible with what we express. And that's it for me.
Man, this has definitely been a very, very powerful show. We've addressed some very, very key components. Very, very good points were made. Great points were made on everybody's end. I just want to thank everybody for taking the time out. Miss Law, I love you. You know what I'm saying? Dua, which means thank you in our language. I love you, Miss Law. Thank you so much for your opinions. Thank you so much for your facts. Thank you so much for expressing your femininity and talking about that SK. You know what I'm saying? I can't thank you enough. You know what I'm saying? I thoroughly appreciate you, King. Every day, you know what I'm saying? You're my brother. We ride this ride together. And Sham, brother, you already know. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is my road, dog. We do it big. You know what I'm saying? Interstellar Music is in the building. I just want to say thank you all to the people who are watching. And I'll say hotep to everybody. And I just thank you guys for tuning in.
Hotep.
Hotep.
I want to say thank you to the panel. SK, I got to get you in for an interview, my brother. I appreciate the battle rap scene, so I definitely want to get you on to talk about what's going on in that scene.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Damn, salute to you for everything
Salute.
you're doing in the industry, Ms. Law. It was an absolute divine pleasure. The Black woman is God. Heaven is between her legs. I don't care what
Double
nobody
salute.
say. So it's been another episode of Paradigm Shift, family. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you were edified. Hope you learned something. And we're going to do it again. Seba Khemra, let us out.
We out of here. Once again, man, peace and Black power to the family. Everyone, dua for watching. Once again, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. And like Seba said, we're going to do it again. Hotep.
Hotep.
Hotep, family.
That was dope. That was dope. That was dope.
We are definitely here. So this is dope.
I'm feeling it.